Welcome back to The Wisdom Within. I'm Lara Jaye. And if last week's episode on disconnection maybe stirred something in you, today's conversation is the bridge back home. Because before we can reconnect, we have to stop numbing and distracting ourselves. Now, I want to start by saying that numbing isn't bad. It's intelligent. Your body's way of keeping you safe. There was actually a season in my own life when numbing was my daily rhythm, not in maybe obvious ways, but in some small, subtle ways. Checking my phone the moment I woke up, pouring myself into work, using busyness as a disguise for pain. And if it looked productive, if it looked spiritual, I was in. But underneath all of that, I was escaping the quiet ache that I didn't want to face. And I see many, many people that I work with doing the same. Brilliant men and women, composed on the outside, yet they live in these constant micro escapes. A scroll, a sip, a bite, a binge, a project, even a run. Numbing is only self-protection that stayed a little too long. So when the nervous system has been in go-to mode for decades, your brilliance finds way to soften the edge, to get a hit of dopamine, to have any kind of tiny spark of relief. That's all that our body is looking for. And here's the thing. What once kept you safe is now actually keeping you separate. It's keeping you separate from yourself, separate from spirit, and separate from others. So how do we stop numbing without shaming ourselves or turning healing into another to-do list? You come back to the now moment and you create safety first. Because the opposite of numbing isn't control, it's connection. It's connection to yourself, connection to creator, and to others. Let's first talk about what's actually happening in your brain when you numb yourself. Emotionally, our feelings don't process. Spiritually, we miss the whisper of the spirit. Energetically, our field gets all cluttered. Physically, we ignore the body's signals, especially the one for rest and quiet. Mentally, our focus scatters into fog. The result, we lose touch. We lose touch with the pulse of life. We're disconnected. Numbing disconnects us. And every time you reach for something to escape, whether it's your phone, another glass of wine, a quick online purchase, your brain releases dopamine, that feel-good neurotransmitter. Dopamine is designed to reward behaviors that help us survive, like eating, connecting, or creating. But in modern life, it's become hijacked. Your brain starts to confuse relief with reward. So the quick hit of relief from tension feels like a win. So your system learns, this works, even though it doesn't actually resolve the discomfort underneath. And over time, your neural pathways wire around that cycle. Discomfort, distraction, temporary relief, guilt, repeat. When you add trauma or chronic stress into the mix, the loop deepens even more. Trauma conditions us to crave control because control feels safer than surrender. And if we're feeling that like we don't have control of the day or even the moment, we get all nervous. Numbing is the fastest, most predictable form of control there is. It's the illusion of mastery. If I can't change the pain, I can at least mute it. Distraction does that. Numbing does that. And control really is not the same as safety, though. Control keeps the nervous system tight. Safety lets you relax and expand. So there is great news here. Neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to change, is always available to us. So every time you pause before reaching for your old coping mechanism, you're literally rewiring your brain toward presence, connection, and trust. This is great news. We can rewire ourselves. You can teach your body that it's safe to feel again, one moment at a time. For about a decade, I took antidepressants. At that time, they were a lifeline, an anchor that kept me from sinking when I didn't have the tools yet to face what was buried. They helped me to survive. And for that, I am very, very grateful. But what I didn't realize then was that while they muted the pain that was screaming to be felt, they also dimmed everything else. The world lost its vibrancy. The highs and lows flattened into a single gray hum of existence. I didn't hurt as much, but I didn't truly care about much either. I gained weight seemingly overnight. I pushed my friends and family away. I became completely disconnected from God, others, and especially myself. So as I began over the years to heal the trauma underneath, I knew it was time to let my body and my spirit wake up. Slowly, gently, I weaned myself off the antidepressants, and it was as if someone had turned the lights back on in my room of life. Suddenly, colors returned. Sensations deepened. I could really, really feel again. The joy, the grief, the tenderness, and the anger. It all came rushing in like a flood. It was raw for me, overwhelming at times, but also exhilarating. I realized that feeling everything, even the uncomfortable parts, was evidence that I was alive again. It was at this time I started to write my first book. I started to practice energy work, meditation, more prayer, and then the light language began to pour through me. I was alive. And even without a light language activation, you too can begin to turn away from numbing yourself. I'm going to teach you this simple practice that I teach my private clients. It's 5 minutes, door to door. It's not fancy, and it works. So it's called the STOP method, STOPS, see it. Name the urge out loud. I'm reaching for my phone to escape discomfort. So it's seeing it. Slow down enough to see it. T, touch the body. One hand on your heart, one hand on your lower belly. Slow breaths in and out. Do that 3 times. O, open the sensation. Ask, where do I feel this in my body? Heat in the chest, tightness in the jaw, a lump in the throat. Just sit there with it for a good minute or two. That's a long time. Sensations crest and fall when we're witnessing. But it's when we resist these emotions that they keep persisting. And when we love them, they soften, they release. And P, praise the messenger. This is my favorite. Say, thank you, body, for trying to protect me. Thank you, creator, for showing me this part of myself. I am safe to feel. Stop fighting the exhaustion. Stop judging yourself for being triggered. Stop believing your pain means you're behind in life. The creator didn't make a mistake giving you these tender places. None of it's random. And none of it's bad. The more you hate these parts, the more you hate the parts of your life, the more you hate how you're feeling, the more power you're actually giving it. And it expands. So what if instead we loved them? Say it with me. I love my fear that tries to protect me. I love my body for showing me where I still hold pain. I love my perfectionism. It means I care deeply. I love my insomnia. It's teaching me to listen. I love the loneliness because it's waking me up to my own presence. So even the parts that feel messy, inconvenient, or unspiritual are actually holy. They are your doorway back to love. So when you find yourself triggered, take a breath. Find the thing you can thank God in that moment. Gratitude softens the loop. So why does this work? You interrupt the dopamine, you reattach to your body, you complete a stress cycle and reclaim agency without a bunch of drama. And that, my friends, is your doorway, your bridge back to feeling alive, back to presence, back to you. By using the stop method, you begin to shift from numbing to noticing, from reacting to responding, from running to receiving. You start to interrupt the old loops that kept you trapped in survival. And once you've created space with the stop method, the next step is to fill that space with life. Ask yourself, what do I actually need right now? Maybe it's movement, a walk outside, music, journaling, or a prayer of gratitude. Whatever that is, go do it. Yesterday morning, I went through my normal morning routine and still needed to take a drive and go to the beach and have a walk and lay in the sun for, I don't know, probably just 20, 30 minutes. But it was something that I knew was going to help me reset. That was what I needed in that moment. So replace the old numbing reflex with a conscious ritual of connection. It is going to be your superpower moving forward. Instead of escaping your feelings, let's engage with them. Instead of shutting down, open slowly, tenderly to the life that's been waiting for you. This becomes your bridge into conscious living. So what is on the other side of numbing? Everything that your soul has been craving. When you stop numbing, you begin to feel again, fully, deeply, authentically. You start hearing the whispers of spirit guiding you toward what's next. Your energy clears, your intuition sharpens. You begin to trust yourself again. Your relationships can deepen too. Because why? You're finally present. You're present in yourself. You're present with spirit, and you can be present with others. That was actually one of the first things I noticed when I weaned off my antidepressants and started to actually deal with my stuff. I was present with my kids. I was excited to be around them. I was having fun. Your body softens because it no longer has to scream to be heard. Your creativity returns. You begin to laugh again. You wake up in the morning with a peace that doesn't need to be earned. And on the other side of numbing is actually that intimacy with life, with God, with your purpose. It's where clarity replaces confusion, vitality replaces fatigue, and you can connect instead of control. Again, it's not about perfection. It's about presence. Presence with yourself first and foremost. It's not ever about reaching for the glass, the phone, or the chocolate again. It's about remembering that you have a choice. Every moment you choose to pause, to feel, to love, even those uncomfortable parts within yourself, you're rewiring your nervous system for safety. And right here, right then, is when true healing begins. This is when your soul starts to lead again. And as you move through your day, notice where you reach for distraction and where you can choose presence instead. That's it. Every time you pause to breathe, to feel, to listen, you're choosing life. You're reconnecting with love, your purpose, and the energy that moves everything. Take a deep breath with me now. Close your eyes. And we're going to seal this conversation with a beautiful light language transmission, a frequency of love, safety, and remembrance. Condendo, geleto la variando, de la parete di geletiondo, la limote le caliando, de le caliando, de le calio por abeoto, geleto caliamo, de darioto de geliando, corrende di etiondo, geletiondo, la parete di andario, corrende di amacan. Zabonde geleti udore le biodore le baraderi andere yoto gele paracori piccolo biuto gele la bondariacam. Colando. Shilito caliondo de calabarianda di enderia di enderia di enderia paramesha. Leondo je caliabogrameti andaria di andaria di ondore le caliandaria di andaria cariondo nanigale enderia kayaka yokoreshi yapoko marianda. Corimi to jeli de calemo coriander di coria poremisha ya poremisha de ondo shele te calamari under the do shele bolamo cando di shele de ondo da cleondo shele cleamo can ye ondo shele de ondo da caleanda di under the do shele wam che otto da calecadia more anda zeondo shele te caleo coriander di under the oto le do de shele ala colebiondo Corrende di anda di oto shele wand che le to shele quande che le to shele kyoto kisho. Very slowly come back to your body presence. Take a deep breath in. Begin to feel your body, your toes wiggle. Feel the light codes dancing in your energy field as you feel energized and awake. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Have a fantastic week.